We're hoping to have connected to Karen at Mountain Red Velvet in New Zealand. But in the meantime, I'm going to talk about a couple of other nutraceuticals. One we haven't talked about for a while is our Edgar Cayce Tesla-activated monoatomic iodine, the most powerful of our antipathogenics. The next, of course, is our NutriSilver, which I personally designed based on previous technology, and it is the only liposomal enzymatically activated hydrogenated alkaline angstrom molecular silver in the world. And we have, of course, the Allicin Med from a supplier in Germany, which is, again, going to deliver the actual allicin in a special, different media, but it delivers it at 200 milligrams more per capsule than Alamed, which is a great product. It's been around for about 25 years. Peter Josting, it's a prescription in Europe, New Zealand, and Australia, so and also Britain, which is now separate from Europe, I guess, with Brexit. So we have 3 antipathogenics. So yesterday I had an interesting call from a gentleman and his daughter, both suffering from chronic Lyme, and they tried various, quote, conventional drugs. One of them, Rocephin, which, by the way, after a very short period of time, you develop drug resistance. If you're using things against anti-Lyme parasites, which are intracellular, you're not going to be very successful. The same way with even antivirals. Most people aren't aware that the antivirals, for example, for herpes zoster, famiciclovir, is about $500-600 for only a 5-day course, and it only gets 87% of the virus. Well, our antipathogenics go through biofilm into the cells, and they kill 100% of the pathogen. So I personally did a little test on myself yesterday and realized, I hadn't been taking as much of my Nutridyne as I should be, so I had bumped it up, and lo and behold, the pathogens are going away, and I'm feeling better. So you have to understand that stealth pathogens are present in everybody, whether it's in your throat, and it's called the Waldeyer ring, your tonsils and adenoids, whether it's in your gut wall, the Peyer's patches, whether it's in your GI tract with a dysbiosis of your bowel, whether it's in your chronic basket cells in your airways, which can be a chronic bronchorrhea. The body has sequestered areas like in the middle ear, etc., where you can have chronic infections. And even in elderly people, we see the reemergence of ancient viruses that were present even in childhood vaccines. 28%, for example, according to Cornell University, have, when they develop dementia, actually have a virus that they were exposed to previously that reactivated. Many times that virus was entered into the body through vaccines. Karen, welcome back to the program. Let's talk about Mountain Red Velvet.
Yes.
I use a couple of different descriptors to try to get through to people, and in fact I got a call back from one of the stem cell tissue organogenesis regeneration centers here in America, and I'm working. I'd like to work with one or more of these centers in the developing of the surgical version of Mountain Red Velvet. Right now we're just about ready to finish the Fish and Wildlife permit to bring in the powder and then just put it in a different capsule. The only thing we're doing is we're not altering the product, we're just simply going to put it in a capsule that will tolerate a lower pH, so it won't be released until the small bowel. But the surgical version will be 3 different types. One, there'll be a type that can be given intravenously, that can actually be distributed directly to the organs around the body. The second type will be either granules or sheets. So the surgeon can implant it in a tissue, let's say a medic or a surgeon is working in a mass unit, say in a theater of war, and they put this in after someone has part of their quadricep muscle blown away. They can simply put these granules in, and they're going to start to regenerate the muscle tissue so that the person will not be totally bereft of their quadriceps.
Yes.
The other thing we could combine this with is our peptides, which are developed by Dr. Kavinson at the Russian Academy of Sciences in St. Petersburg, and there are other science groups. Now the head of the European Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine, and stem cell therapies, which includes StemMedic out of San Diego, with their clinic in Astana, Kazakhstan, and one in Santa Clarita, just outside Tijuana, Mexico, just south of the U.S. border in California. So we have some pretty advanced technology, but Mountain Red Velvet is going to fit a very major part of that. The current material they use for printing solid organs for tubes or bladders or vessels is pretty inferior. It doesn't fit the bill at all. It doesn't have any epigenetic effect. It doesn't affect the building blocks to build new tissues, solid organs. And so once we get to what we call solid organ printing, like hearts and kidneys and so on, you have to have a toner material like Mountain Red Velvet that allow you. So one of the other applications is it'll actually be the toner in these 3D printing machines when you're printing with cells. Pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, and I think there's no other product out there with 396 different active ingredients. So, like you say, for wound care, I know that even my dad, when he's got a scrape or a scratch, he'll open a capsule and put the capsule onto the wound.
I heard that where he had ankylosing spondylitis for years, was suffering a lot. Started taking pretty high dosage Mountain Red Velvet. Was he taking 2 or 3 capsules a day at least?
Yes.
And
twice a day.
2 twice a day, so you take that, which is what I recommend. And I usually recommend you open one and the other one you swallow. You open one, put it under your tongue for 10 minutes, and then swallow. But what people don't realize is when you do these, for example, one of the hormones is IGF-1, which helps to counteract obesity and diabetes. These other hormones help to regenerate solid tissues like your solid organs, like liver, kidneys, spleen, brain, and your bones. So the Mountain Red Velvet is another way to augment, for example, reversing osteoporosis, osteopenia, liver dysfunction if you've got chronic hepatitis. And a lot of people aren't aware, but they've got chronic stealth infections in various organs of their body, whether it's males, their prostate gland, or their lung tissue, or their middle ear, or some other organ system, like their blood vessel walls, which basically heart disease is infected biofilm. And as you start taking the right things to boost your immune system, your immune cells are able to more effectively attack and kill these stealth pathogens off. So,
exactly.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that people who have had pain for a long time, and I think that especially as you get older, you think, oh, that's just old age, or that's not working anymore. So I think that when people are able to try Mountain Red, and suddenly it's like, as you say, the lube job or the oil back in the joint, or I can move it again. And I think that people, as they get older, think, oh, well, that's just how it has to be. And it doesn't. It really doesn't. And if you can take a natural product, so a capsule that has 396 active ingredients that can heal the body. This isn't something you're taking to mask the pain. This isn't something that's going to interfere with other medications that you're on. This is 100% natural. And I challenge people to try this product and age well, not age with creaky joints or stiff elbows or sore backs. Try Mountain Red and see the difference that it can take.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, here's one of the principles of pain. When you fix the problem, the pain goes away. It's kind of logical and teleologically. Exactly. That's why the primary pain gate is the Langerhans gate in your skin. And the next gate is the dorsal root ganglia and then the ascending spinal thalamic tract. Those are the bottom 3 gates. The thing is, when your body, which the skin is like a monitor on your computer screen, when you look at the monitor and the monitor says, oh, look, the molecules are going in and they're healing that joint or that ligament, let's turn off the pain. The pain is processed in the skin, these little Langerhans complexes. If you don't have skin, you actually can't suffer pain even in bone pain or liver pain or solid organ pain. Interesting. So most people don't walk around without skin unless you've had a bad burn, in which case, once your skin's gone, you can't suffer pain. Interesting, eh?
It is, and I think the other thing is that when older people, they stiffen up, and so they get a sore joint or they get a sore knee, so they stop moving, and then things become a lot worse. So when people tell us that when they start taking Mountain Red, they feel better, that gives them more energy, they're out doing stuff, and suddenly they have got this movement back that they haven't had. And as they're moving that joint, it's feeling better, they've got more energy, and a way better quality of life than sitting, thinking, aching.
Exactly. In fact, sedentary lifestyle will lead to other diseases.
Yes.
And the other thing is, if it's paining, it means you may have a partial tear. They did a study a few years ago with NBA basketball and football players, top football players, and the NFL. Yes. And what they discovered is, just looking at the shoulder joint, 78% had partial tears on a radiomagnetic MRI scan, and they would have probably qualified to have surgery to do some repair arthroscopically, put a little scope in there and sew it up. So it means that a lot of people are in pain. Their bodies say, don't move it, you're going to break it. So when you start taking Mountain Red Velvet, the reason why the pain goes away is you fix the problem.
Exactly. And that's it. It heals the body. It doesn't mask the pain. And people who have had these injuries for years, and when you have pain, you're absolutely right. Your body says, protect that, let's not move that, because every time we move that, that hurts. So therefore the joint stiffens up and the body says, we're not going to move, and people get worse instead of better. Whereas if you can heal the body, and Mountain Red does do that, as you say, it's got the growth hormones, it's got glucosaminoGlycans, it can, and packed with collagen, it helps to heal, and then the person feels better, moves the joint, moves the body, and away we go.
Yeah, the interesting thing too is the dosages don't have to be high if they're super bioavailable. If they're in a biological form that the body can accept. And again, it's an orchestra. The orchestra conductor won't start the playing of the orchestra until all the parts are there. The oboe and the string section, etc. Well, the problem is healing is sort of like that. The inflammation will continue unless enough of the players are there that it can make an orchestral music. And the same thing goes with the healing process. So if your body is stuck in a chronic inflammatory state because not all the components are there to heal, it's going to continue inflamed. Eventually it'll scar down. Eventually you'll get a facilitated and fixed neural pathways. And now you're really in a pickle. You've got fixed neurological problems. You've got fixed structural changes. And you've got fixed wear patterns because of muscle spasm and partial tears, which are not healing, etc. So the reason why things become chronic is because it compounds itself. It feeds on itself, and then it gets fixed neurologically and otherwise in terms of structure. So Mountain Red Velvet is pretty important.
Exactly, and a lot of people don't try new products or don't try Mountain Red because they think, I've had this pain for years. There's no point. I've tried everything. It's sore. That's just the way it is, and that's how I have to be. And I challenge that. I do challenge that with Mountain Red, with its active ingredients that's natural. Try this product and see what it can do for you. Because as it heals and you feel better, you can move better. And that's what we have people saying. Even, I can sleep better. I don't have to roll off my hip at night, and my back doesn't ache every time I step out of a chair. And for people who have had pain for a very long time, that's huge.
Yeah, so it's an interesting thing. It kind of makes more sense than the current model. When you just turn off inflammation and the tissues are not healed, it doesn't mean the pain gate's going to close. So turning off the inflammation just means another factor that can stimulate pain is gone, but it doesn't mean the tissues are smart enough to say, hey, the problem's all fixed. Let's go, let's go back out doing our thing. The body say, no, I think that tissue's still broken. I'm going to still hurt you even though the inflammatory reflex is gone. So maybe you reduce the pain, but the problem's not going to be gone because you haven't fixed it.
Exactly, and that's what we can do with Mountain Red is we can heal the body, make it feel better, but not mask that pain or do any further injury to that.
Now, here's the other thing. It boosts the immune system. So if you're fighting the flu in the fall, if you've got chronic infections like stealth infections like Lyme disease, it's going to help you fight it. If you're dealing with rebuilding your brain after ECMO or after radiation to your head and neck for cancer, it's going to help rebuild the tissue. If you've had chronic hepatitis and you want to rebuild your liver tissue, you'll need fatty acids like Omega Supreme Pro and Omega Krill, but you're going to need all the building blocks that are present in Mountain Red Velvet to rebuild your liver. And if you take stem cell peptides for rebuilding a solid organ, like your kidneys or liver, you're going to need to take Mountain Red Velvet because that's the building blocks you need. It's like the universal Lego set for your body.
Exactly. And that's it. And there's no diet that's going to give you this. You can't, even the best organic diet in the world doesn't give you 396 active ingredients, all your amino acids, your trace elements, collagen, growth hormones. It's all in there in one capsule. And as you say, if you have really sore knees, joints, take 2 a day. This product is totally safe. We have people sports athletes who are on 2 twice a day, and we have the world karate champion on this product, and they say that they're able to train harder for longer but recover quicker. But we have the mums and the dads as well, the weekend warriors.
And your dogs too, and your cats, and your other pets. I mean, big dogs especially, for example, the pets love it, and they don't suffer placebo effects, so they're getting better. They're giving you what I call a doggy smirk or bark or whatever it is, and kitty meow that, hey, I'm able to do more of my cat or doggy stuff because I'm not hurting now.
Exactly. I had a lovely letter from a gentleman the other day who had put his mountain red deer velvet out on a saucer to have with his breakfast, and the cat had jumped on the bench and was eating them by the time he got back out. They really love it.
Yeah, they just naturally know, hey, this is good for me. I want to be a young cat or dog again.
Absolutely.
And of course, they age 7 times faster than us, so it's very hard for somebody who loses a member of the family after maybe 18 years. We had a friend of ours that was over in Scotland that they had to put down his dog because the dog was getting serious complications. Well, if you start giving Mountain Red Velvet, you're going to get new record lifespans. This is an anti-aging formula.
And you can't, and you can't trick animals. They know.
No.
So there's another great testimonial that when you take this product, you do feel better, more active, and an animal will know to take that. But I do say, especially coming into your winter time, or not perhaps so much so in California, but as the change of seasons, you're absolutely right. Mountain Red is a great boost to the immune system. It helps you through that change of seasons and all the seasonal issues that come. We're changing into summer, so we've got hay fever here, but colds, coughs, and this is just a great way to protect the body and to give it that boost before you go into a change of season, to help it protect itself.
The other thing is just appearance. I talk about the appearance nutraceuticals, changing you, healing you, making you look great from the inside out, good hair, good nails, good skin. The first nutrient to take, of course, is Collagen Max, which triples rate of protein transhydroxylase to make collagen elastin. Second is Mountain Red Velvet. Those are the 1-2 punch. That's what I call the left cross and the right. It punches out your wrinkles and your fragile hair and your breaking nails and so on. You'll get nails like talons. A lot of people notice when they start doing that. I will often add also Nutrimed's Royal Jelly because it makes pro-collagen. But those three are amazing for improving your appearance. And
exactly. And I think that once the body is feeling better as well, people say, gosh, I even look better because I'm feeling better. And, they've got a smile, or they just have that little bit more energy about them, a bit of bounce in their step. And that definitely makes people feel better and look better.
Yeah, and actually, they don't need to hide the secret. Say, tell your friends. Don't hide it and just look great and say, I don't know what you're doing. Is it new makeup you have? Yeah, maybe. How about makeup from the inside?
Exactly.
I got a new term for you. Instead of makeup, we'll make in. How's that?
You can be on our marketing team, I think.
Yeah, make in. In other words, we're making you better from the inside.
Exactly.
Makeup means you slather stuff on you so you look good, because we, eliminate your wrinkles with creams or, puffed it up or whatever, or put some kind of special thing on your hair so it looks more lustrous. But when you make in with Mountain Red Velvet, your body actually makes better hair, nails, skin, and your wrinkles actually, with our studies that we've done with their supplier in Europe, it actually cuts their wrinkles down in 6 months by 57%. So pretty damn amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's without even adding Collagen Max and the Nutrimed's Royal Jelly, which makes pro-collagen. Now,
yes.
A couple of other things that
feed the body what it needs.
Yeah, now let's look at what's in Mountain Red. Is there any new science that you can talk about or talk with Campbell?
Sure. So they're doing a lot of work with Mountain Red now on leg ulcers and wound care, and talking very much, like you say, in terms of packing the wound with the deer velvet, doing medical, looking at all sorts of ways to incorporate that in healing with the medical profession. So there's a lot of work with that. There's also a number of athletic performance trials going on, because of course Mountain Red Deer Velvet is able to be taken by professional athletes. It's not a banned substance, so they're using it a lot in trial work to especially endurance athletes, to see that they can cycle a lot longer. So there's some really interesting research coming out about that we'll be able to share in the next couple of months. But I think there's no greater evidence than the people who write in and say, thanks, I've had a lifetime of pain, or I've got so much more energy now, thank you. Thank you for fixing my knee.
Exactly. There's other conditions. I just got a question, and it's an off-air one.
Yeah.
Protocol for MS. Now, we use sphingolin, myelin basic protein, to shut off the immune system. We use Neurogen for remyelination. We use gamma E plus for stopping the gamma tocopherol to stop the hydronitroporoxy radicals that are increasing the oligodendrocytes when they're attacked by the migrating lymphocytes or neutrophils. And with MS, it's also very beneficial to add mountain red velvet because you're getting building blocks to rebuild dysmyelinated tissue and support the oligodendrocytes. And all you need to do is lay down 4 layers and you restore saltatory nerve conduction. You don't need 20. So I'd add it to the MS protocol. People say, you're kidding. The peripheral neuropathy protocol, the congestive heart failure protocol, the chronic hepatitis protocol, someone's got migratory polyarthritis protocol, the osteoporosis protocol, because when you put 42% of the dry weight of your bones is type 29 collagen, and if you don't have the collagen, you can't crystallize the rebar of your crystals and lamellar crystallization to form normal cancellous bone, your vertebral bodies and your long bones, your legs and arms. It's different for the membranous bones, but again, it's still a very high percentage of collagen in these connective tissues. And if you don't have adequate building blocks present in the tissue, you can't reverse osteopenia or osteoporosis.
Well, that's exactly it. And I think that because we're not masking anything, this is not a pharmaceutical product. This is a healing of the body. And if you are missing those trace elements, if you are missing that collagen, if you are missing the growth hormones, this is coming to you to help the body heal. So you're right, it can be put in with all sorts of protocols because it could be that building block that's missing.
Exactly. So whatever organ, whether you've got a fatty liver or you've got chronic tendinitis, or you've got a carpal tunnel syndrome and there's neuropathy, and you've got tissue inflammation. The thing is, when you supply the nutrients, a lot of time the inflammation goes away because the body says we don't need inflammation because that tissue was splinted not to move it, but now it's healed. And once the tissue is healed and the signaling process determines the healing's happened, the pain turns off. People don't realize that teleologically pain is to split tissues that are ready to break or have broken, and your body's told, don't move it, it's broken or going to break. That's how simple it is. It's like, you got to be kidding. And of course, if that system goes wrong, you'll have chronic pain syndromes despite the fact that tissue is in a partially degraded state but not healing. The healing process is stalled. Or the inflammation is so excessive things start to stick together, or you get other damage to the tissue that decreases blood flow or increases tissue damage or degradation. So mountain red velvet has a lot of applications, like even as I say in MS. So that protocol again is sphingolin, Neurogen, gamma E plus, and CoQ10 ubiquinol, the water soluble form of CoQ10, and we have some other nutrients, but mountain red velvet's right there because it's going to help to regenerate the tissue. And when you remyelinate, when you turn off the inflammation, when you stop things like even muscle contractures that can occur with MS and other changes, the body starts to function again. It's
Yeah, and I think that, as I've said, a lot of people think, that's just the way it is, and when I'm getting old, I have to be like that, and you don't.
Don't accept that, or it's a very deep hole if you start accepting that and just taking drugs to try to turn off the inflammation when that doesn't heal the body. It just tries to shut off one factor, so you keep moving despite the fact that tissues are damaged. On the technology and all the features and all the benefits of hyperbaric oxygen therapy, that's coming up in the next few days with Bruce McKeeman. He's very busy now before the holidays, and his wife. So it's an important thing to use hyperbaric oxygen. Let's start from head to toe. Eye problems, cognitive brain problems, multiple sclerosis, trigeminal neuralgia, chronic dental problems of infection, regeneration of damaged nerves from dental procedures, cardiac calcification, reversing it, improving the heart contractility and strength to reverse congestive heart failure, improving perfusion in tissues so that you can lower blood pressure. So many things, autoimmune diseases, turning off the inflammatory response throughout the body. One of the most powerful stimulants for your healing is stem cells released by your own bone marrow. So it makes a huge difference that your stem cells will be released by mild hyperbaric oxygen therapy, especially with ozone. Now, the testimonials I've had are amazing. We've seen people reverse things like post-ECMO brain, where they've been in heart-lung bypass for cardiac surgery or valve surgery. We've seen people reverse radiation-induced damage to their brain. We've seen people reverse osteonecrosis of bone or osteopenia, osteoporosis, where their bone density is lower and they're likely to have a compression fracture. We've seen where we put autoimmune disease into senescence along with our nutraceuticals like psoriasis, inflammatory bowel disease, or rheumatoid arthritis. And to me, it's kind of amazing that hyperbaric oxygen treatment is actually also the therapy for oxygen toxicity. So if you're doing a diving and had a diving accident, you should be in daily mild hyperbaric oxygen treatment. If you're trying to recover from MS, if you're trying to recover from peripheral neuropathy, organic brain damage, visual problems, retinitis pigmentosa, we've actually seen it reverse with hyperbaric oxygen treatment. Now, what I'm able to say is this is the closest thing we can say is a co-panacea. I'm not going to say it's by itself it's going to cure everything, but it's going to improve, along with the right nutraceuticals and technology, your rate of healing and the extent of your healing dramatically when you add mild hyperbaric oxygen treatment to your regime. That's what's amazing to it. And the thing is, it's a total write-off. If you get the machine through us, I will give you documentation so you can write it off against your taxes completely, so it wouldn't cost you a cent. That's amazing. So how long should you use hyperbaric oxygen? How long do you want to live? It's one thing that should be a habit of your life. So if you've had a previous problem with diabetes or head injury or a serious autoimmune condition like rheumatoid arthritis, you need to be on hyperbaric oxygen treatment constantly, at least an hour or two a day. Some people will actually sleep in the chamber overnight. And because of the safety features with dual compressors and so on, it is perfectly safe. That's what's neat about it. You can even have backup power set up with your compressors. So I'm really pleased by my chamber. I can tell you, I used to be a consultant back in the late 90s, early 2000s in Denver. We had a hyperbaric set of chambers that we would refer people to. This is better because you don't just get 20 or 30 sessions or 50 sessions. You're able to get sessions daily for the rest of your life in your own home chamber. And if you have pets and you're concerned about life extension or reversal of illness, we sell pet chambers. I've even come up with a plan to actually have chambers which we can get that will allow you to grow superfoods in them. You get a mild hyperbaric oxygen chamber, put in we call carbon dioxide at 1,000 parts per million with a little bit of a compressor feed. You're able to give the right nutrients with Dead Sea minerals, the 14 minerals not present anywhere else. And the combination of the minerals and the mild hyperbaric oxygen, hypercarbia, high concentration of carbon dioxide, and your plants grow like crazy and have much better color, larger size, and better taste and better nutrient content. So we're on the edge of a range of technologies that's going to combine to heal people. The one that people often think, well, I don't know, I can't afford that. Anybody can afford it. Yeah, you can lease the chambers, you can purchase over time. If you lease a chamber, it will become your chamber in whether it's 2 years or 3 years, and the cost will be just a few $100s a month. Why don't you do it? Because if you want to get well, you have to supply the body with the micronutrients like we talked about in the last segment, Mountain Red Velvet, and other Nutrimeds like Collagen Max. You need to then supply the body with the right energy, and it requires oxygen. So if you supply the body with the right energy, which is oxygen plus specific nutrients to convert and create energy, and you need the oxygen to drive the fuel, just like carburation in your engine. This is, in a sense, a form of molecular carburation. Your Mountain Red Velvet combined with mild hyperbaric oxygen treatment is going to tremendously improve the chances of activating your tissues to be able to heal and regenerate. And it's just amazing. Now, I wanted to talk about a couple of other technologies that we have here, too, today that will combine with mild hyperbaric oxygen treatment. We have, of course, the lumen photon frequencies, the micropulse and the matrix pulse devices. We have, of course, our, other people talk about infrared sauna. If you want to get an infrared sauna device, contact me, and I have a supplier. I don't have it posted up because these are quite a bit more expensive, but I do have a good supplier for infrared sauna if you need to get one. And I have the best suppliers in America for the most ergonomic, the most beautiful looking, and the most functionally adjustable full spectrum infrared sauna. So that is available. We're also going to be putting up one of the other announcements I want to do is we have the Prayer of the 12 Stones, and people have been asking for it. That is available on PDF right now. You can actually download it. You won't see the stones when you look at the initial opening of that file, but the PDF you'll be able to find there. So that is available for you to get it, and if you want it in a form that can be framed and so on, we can do that for you as well. So Mountain Red Velvet is one of the things that, combined with hyperbaric oxygen treatment, it's good we had these two segments together. And of course, I think Bruce was so busy today he couldn't make it. We also use other nutrients, Indiamines, to chaperone the minerals into your tissues. The ozone, of course, we have home detox technologies, including the hydrogen anion detox. We have whole home and office plasma air filter systems as well. We have, of course, the VibraSlim, which is the best whole body vibrational exercise, $1,299 and free shipping in the U.S. We can ship anywhere in the world to a minimal cost because we have warehouses around the world. The Dr. U book has been produced earlier this year. It's an amazing journey that shows you how to use the QRMA and functional medicine testing. We have, of course, the Carrot Bar Gold business, and I tell people very strongly, if you're not involved with Carrot Bars, why? Because it's absolutely essential. Now, some people will be emailing me and saying they want specific answers to sending me lots of medical records. As soon as you start sending medical records, it constitutes a consult. And I recommend you purchase 2 time units, fill in the 11-page more information form, attach the documents as PDFs, or send me a hyperlink for a Google Drive. But don't send me physical documents or a thumb drive. Don't send x-rays, MRIs, or other things. I don't have a physical office or file system for keeping these records, and I don't want to start. I'd like to have everything on my computer so I can access it any time if I have to, even remotely. LSCMF, if you contact them and you go to the front page and you're looking for things like our device for blocking radiation from smart meters or technologies like sterilizers to get rid of the electropollution inside your home, or monitor the radiation from Fukushima, or if you're near a nuclear reactor, we have all these devices available. We prepare Wise Foods. This is the best Mylar bag food that you don't have to eat an entire number 10 can, the highest quality with the lowest oxygen content, and the largest number of entrees. So it's amazing. We have the Ready Store with top quality ranges of food as well, but it also has medical and surgical supplies, so it'll provide you with all the other prepper needs you have. I'm about to, with your help out there, put in ham radio operating equipment and links to get involved with ham radio. That'll be going up here in the next month, because I think it's important that we start giving people more and more skill sets. I strongly recommend, if you haven't done it already, to contact your county sheriff to get the courses with your local fire department for basic trauma life support and basic cardiac life support, and some equipment to deal with things like puncture wounds, broken bones, and things like the hemothorax, where if you simply got a rib puncture in your chest, you need to be able to evacuate that air from the second inner space in the midclavicular line. You can actually activate and remove that air. So it's important you know these very simple procedures that can save a life. Now, the other things that are coming up is we have some videos. I will probably be doing a video on live stream today, or posting it up from our Elgato video capture with Jim Fetzer. This weekend we're going to do a major update with Leo Lyon-Zagami. He'll be doing a post-Renzi and referendum vote. So we'll be doing a video on that. you'll be seeing that almost every day I'll be doing a news update. Those news and video updates will include wellness news, geopolitical, and some of our latest specials. They'll be posted up on that green, if you want to call it, thing called their video blog. All you need to do is just open it up, and you'll see it there. For example, I put the date of December 25th right now, but it says Life Extension Optimized Wellness News, December and November video blog. If you just hit that link, you'll see a whole series of videos that will be available for you to just, click, and then you can watch them. The latest one was yesterday, a World News Nutrimedical Wellness, Functional Medicine, and Geopolitical blog. November 28th, I did a full review of all of the products that I've co-developed with Jonathan over the years. November 27th, I have a review of the literature on white fat, inflammatory cause of diabetes and obesity. And number 27th, also a health and anti-aging wellness news review of all the major news items. So you'll be seeing those blogs are all there and they're available. You can watch them on your iPhone, iPad, or computer. And all you have to do is hit that button and it'll open up and you can select whatever you'd like. And that's the YouTube channel. They're also over in Vimeo. Many of them, if they're on live stream, they're also in the live stream channel. Sign up for live stream, because when we do a live stream broadcast, you'll get a notice on your iPhone or iPad to tell you that we're ready to broadcast and you can listen live. If you use the code Nutrimedical1, I'm going to start accepting callers from our people that are live listening and watching. And they can actually, you can queue your call in by text, and I'll see if it's an appropriate question to ask our guest or guests, because we could have multiple guests from around the world all on the system and then queue one up at a time on our live stream channel. So it's pretty amazing, like real-time broadcasting. And that feature allows us to provide a lot more high-quality information in real time to you that can help you know what is going on. And if you wanted to see our Listen Live panel, we have the top item shows you how to listen to the show and showcast. Second one down is our Deagle Network audio files, which I post up after the show and cross-index. Then you can listen to the show on your computer, and the next button down, well below that is live stream. Next is Zeno Live. You can actually dial 701-801-2263, and you can hear the replay of the show 8 times a day after it's done until the next set of shows are archived up. We have the Vimeo HD channel and some pay-per-view channels, including documentaries or wellness condition videos. And there'll be a small fee for those to watch the more advanced wellness conditions with diagnostic technology and other things that are for professionals or curious people that want to know. So that's going to become available as well. So lots of projects in the works, all for your pleasure, information, and empowerment. We'll be back in just a moment. Hopefully we'll track down Bruce McKeeman for the last segment. Hour number 3 coming up. We're going to have Dr. Bob Thiel with many, many issues that we need to talk about with the assembling of the cabinet of Donald Trump, geopolitical issues, worldwide issues, and it's going to be an abundant in 2017 for you. If you grasp that you need NutriMeds, technologies, a proper lifestyle, and you're going to heal. But not only that, you're going to have some healing of our economy now that Trump and Pence are in. As long as we pray for them and maintain a hand to make sure that they collectively make the right decisions. We'll be talking about that in the next hour with Dr. Bob Thiel. Some of the latest advances that are occurring in terms of what's going on in geopolitical issues is we're going to talk about this tomorrow with Leoline Zagami on what's going to happen with the banks following the no vote in Italy. We'll be also looking at what's happening in terms of some of the so-called fake news garbage issues. We'll talk about whether or not there really is any truth to the idea of Pizzagate, which right now I don't really want to talk about much until I have a lot more facts about what's going on, because there's so much disinformation out there. I think partly the situation is muddied on purpose to make certain that no one really understands what's really happening. Apparently, one of these statements I think is quite funny, is the Godfathers meeting Trump in New York City. That's the mayor of Chicago. The solution to the issue is a change in legislation to demand that indictments happen to people that are illegal immigrants that do crimes. And I watched Geraldo talking about this last night, that morally, with the Kate Steinle death, they should have done something, but legally they weren't forced because they didn't have the laws in place. We need to get rid of sanctuary cities and sanctuary states. We need to have laws in place that if an illegal performs a crime or a felony, they're not out of the reach of the federal or the state courts, that they get dealt with, and then they get imprisoned and or deported if the crime fits and their evidence proves that it's true. And we want to show the due process of law, but we want to make certain that people are not literally deported and then come back, bouncing back because they weren't put in their country of origins, a prison system, if they committed a major crime. So that needs to happen. And I think that's likely to happen. Now, the latest issues, of course, are going on in the weather. Chicago breaks the 1940 snowfall record. The wall of snow in North Dakota, 300 miles of interstate is shut down, and the temperatures are plunging across the United States. And you can actually go to dredge.com and see the world chill map. It's pretty amazing. We're heading into what's called a Maunder type ice age. It happens in 2 cycles when Jupiter and Saturn line up, and it's been known for a long time, over 100 years, that the Maunder cycle was the reason for these 4-foot ice on the Thames River 360 years ago. That the return of people from Greenland, which was not very green, it was pretty icy, was directly tied to the Maunder cycle. So when we come back, we're going to talk with Dr. Bob Thiel. Your questions and comments are welcome. 800-313-9443. Just make sure they're crystal clear to our board op, Dan, and make your statement or email, and we'll post it up. If it's past this muster, you'll get on the air. And we're going to do that likewise with our live stream when we do live stream broadcasts. You go to Nutrimedical 1, send your question to us, and we'll see if it's appropriate to the topics we're talking about with our guests now. And we can also do multi-site guests of multiple places all over the world, and most of these talks are going to be totally free. You can listen on your iPhone, iPad, or computer.